Talk now.
Hey guys.
It's just a pineapple.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Here at the Swamp, get ready to beat LSU. Y'all tune in to Rule Number 1 podcast on Monday.
Yeah. Woo.
Welcome back in, guys.
Again, another week, partner.
Oh yeah, we've been putting out episodes left and right this week, or recording them.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to get ready for this Thanksgiving break and the holiday season, and trying to bang them out a little bit.
Yeah, man. We've got a cool one tonight. I think that a lot of people don't know a lot about this industry or these kinds of people, but I think she will be a cool kind of guest star, partner.
Yeah, and we kind of explain this every time. We want to have people on in all walks of life. It's not just a sports thing. Obviously, we relate really well to athletes, but we want to kind of get everybody's perspective from around the world. So today we have Tori Hughes. She is a flight attendant with JetBlue. Welcome in, Tori.
Hi.
Hey, Tori.
Hey guys, how are you?
I'm good. We're good.
Living the dream. Just
man.
Another day, another dollar.
Another episode. Tori, it's kind of cool. A lot of people don't know a lot about flight attendants. And you giving us this kind of cool, unique opportunity to get a peek at the life of a real flight attendant. And I know I'm pretty curious about it because, I've never even been on a plane, dude.
Really?
Never. I've never
No way.
Yes, I've never even been past the welcome doors in an airport. I've never even, Dude,
I have to take you somewhere then.
Yeah, I was about to say, I grew up. We would do one big vacation around Christmas time every year. So I grew up, hopping on planes. I never think about it, but I will say my anxiety whenever we land, it goes through the roof.
Yeah.
Like it's not taking off. Taking off is like a roller coaster. When I land, it's like ooh, my heart's pumping crazy. But
man. It takes a special kind of person to be a flight attendant. So, Tori, we kind of ask our guests this question off the top of the episode. What's your number one rule to live by?
Okay, my number one rule to live by. It's kind of corny, so don't judge me. And it's kind of like basic, but it has a deep meaning. I feel like, honestly, just do it. Like that's my number one rule. Like just do it. Whether it's something little, it's something big. Like whether you do it, you hate it, or you do it and you fail, you'll learn something. You'll maybe discover something else out of it or something, or you might find you love it and be glad that you actually did it. And I feel like it could go towards a lot of things, simple things, big things. Kind of went with like me being a flight attendant. I've always thought of it, but I never actually tried to do it. And then I just did it. And now here I am. So I feel like you never know what will happen if you just do it, but just do it. If that makes sense.
yeah, I love that. It brings me back to the old Nike slogan.
Yeah, I know. You should have.
I know. That's why I was like, it's kind of corny, but and I know it's kind of like with Nike, but I don't know. That's how I feel.
I like it. It's simple, sweet. Just do it.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I feel like a lot of times in life,
yeah.
Whenever you do just do it, 9 times out of 10, it turns out in your favor, and you're like, wow, I'm really happy I got the courage to actually just jump to do it.
It's more like just do it, just did it.
Yeah,
pretty much. I like
that.
it. Pretty simple and sweet, Tori.
Thanks.
So
Yeah.
we do want to talk about obviously you're a flight attendant. How did this journey come? How did you just do it?
So basically when I was in middle school, I had a mentor and she left to be a flight attendant, and she would always tell me about all her cool stories. And I'm like, wow, that kind of sounds cool. Didn't know what I wanted to do in my future. So it was an idea kind of since I was in middle school. 16, it started getting serious. When I turned 20, I started applying to airlines, got denied from every single airline. I don't know if it was maybe because my experience, I didn't have a lot of jobs or anything, prior experience in hospitality. That's what they kind of look for. And then one day my uncle was like, hey, what happened to your dream of being a flight attendant? Because it was always kind of that dream, but not that dream that I would ever thought I'd just do it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you know what? I forgot about that. I started going to UCF for event planning. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I should just apply and see what happens. So I applied to a couple airlines and got an interview with JetBlue, did the video interview. And then I got a face-to-face interview and got a job offer the same day as my face-to-face. But kind of like with airlines, it's weird when they offer you the job. It's not like, okay, you start in 2 weeks. It's a contingent job offer. So it's called CJO. and you have to pass all of training, all of the background. We go through fingerprints, drug test, background check, and then we have like training. And then if you complete training and graduate is what they call it, then you become a flight attendant. So
yeah, I didn't even think about that. All the regulations that you'll probably have to pass, being a flight attendant, especially since the whole 9/11 deal that happened, and that didn't even click with me until you said that.
That's pretty rigorous. That's a rigorous course right there.
And a lot of people like in my class, they do the classes by numbers. So I was 1822 for JetBlue. 18 is just the number of classes that they've had, and then 22 because it's 2022. And there was a lot of people that dropped, a lot of people that would fail because we would have these tests. We had 12 like exams, and if you failed more than 2, then you were out. And then we had like practicals, I guess in a way you can compare it to clinicals for nursing or like, stuff like that. So we would have to actually perform like opening the door and like arming and disarming the door where like, the safety stuff. And if we failed that, then you were also out. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's almost like though at any moment your dream could be taken away from you. Like I was 24/7 studying all of like everything, security, the planes. I had to learn all of the planes and like where everything was and all of that kind of stuff. And I was up to like, in class, because we had classes too. So in training, you go to class and you sit there, and it's like a lecture, kind of like a college. And then you'll either go practice doing that stuff or whatever, like door operations, or like we learned CPR, and like we had to learn a lot of medical stuff. I learned how to put out fires if there's ever a fire on the plane, what to do, how to put that out, or like stuff like that. What happens if somebody's like having, is getting nauseous or like has a medical issue, like what do we do then, and all of that kind of stuff. And the security of letting the pilots come out and take a break because no one's allowed to be in the flight deck. So all of that kind of stuff, there's so much that goes into it, and you learn it in just 5 short weeks. So it's like 24/7, stayed up all night, studied, and thankfully I passed.
Man, dude, that's
awesome.
insane. Yeah, man, that's awesome. Congratulations on that, by the way. That sounds like a huge accomplishment.
I honestly, like, if somebody was to say, like, what are you most proud of? Like, what's one of your biggest accomplishments? It's definitely, like, becoming a flight attendant, because it's 5 weeks and you learn so much in such a short time. And, like, another big thing that we learned is, like, evacuations, whether it's planned. So do we have time to, like, brief everyone and tell everyone, hey, look, like, this plane's about to go down. Here's what we all have to do. Or, like, if it's an emergency evacuation, well, is it in water? Is it in land? What are the different commands? What are the different procedures? Like, you learn all of that in just 5 short weeks.
Man.
Yeah, that's so crazy because, like, you think about it and you're like, oh, yeah, I'm just, hopping on my flight and going to wherever. But, like, whenever you actually think about the big picture, like, those are your lifelines. And so you're in the air. There's no hospital or whatever, like, up there if something happens. And so I never even thought about it. It's basically y'all are the nurses.
A true trained professional.
Yeah.
I say, like, because we even have, like, restraint cups. Like, if somebody's, like, acting totally crazy and, like, we have to, like, restrain them, I have, like, restraint cups, I can't say it, in my suitcase that I carry with me every day. So, like, I say, like, I'm a cop, I'm a firefighter, I'm a nurse, like, all in the air. Because, like, we're trained to do all of that if, something happens.
She said that, like, the restraints. The only thing that it reminded me of was the Wolf of Wall Street movie. When they're going on their business meeting overseas, and he's got, what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. But as soon as you said that, I was like, where is Brian going?
Yeah. Man, that's crazy to think they can actually do that.
Yeah. No.
We have this fun fact. I don't know if this is with all airlines, but I know at JetBlue, we have this thing called a yellow ticket. And it basically is like, we hand it to people. Like, if we see smoking on the plane, like a vape, we hand them the yellow ticket right away. If somebody's like too drunk and they're acting crazy, or somebody's bothering another customer, like out of control, we basically hand them the yellow ticket, and it's saying like, there will be a police officer that will meet you at the gate when we land, and like legal actions can be done, like, or you can be fined. And basically, like, we let the pilots know, hey, this is happening. Sometimes, like, the pilots say if there's an issue, we'll come out, we'll try to deal with it. But if not, then we basically just hand them the yellow ticket, and there'll be a cop waiting for them.
How many yellow tickets have you handed out?
I have handed out 0, but my friend just handed out one last week because somebody was smoking in the bathroom, and we get alerted if there's smoke in the bathroom. So anybody that does that kind of stuff, like, just do not smoke on planes. Like,
Hey, they got ops in the sky, son.
That's crazy.
like, people like really think like, oh, I can get away with it in the bathroom. Like, the bathroom is the worst place to do it. But anyways, like a little light will go on and we get notified. But he handed somebody one because they were smoking in the bathroom last week.
Dang. Man, that's
crazy.
Yeah, I know. That's insane that they had the power to be like, hey, you're getting arrested here.
So,
Hey, like, but like the thing is, it's not promised, but it's like more than likely, like, hey, there's gonna be a cop that's gonna come talk to you, like, whenever we land. Like, so be ready. Like, something could happen.
yeah,
Because we can't arrest anyone, but obviously they can.
that's crazy. That's like, so speaking of like the cop situations, I know they have marshals a lot of times on airplanes. And they're most of the time undercover,
Yeah, that's what
aren't they?
they're supposed to be undercover, like lay low.
Or she can probably
Yeah,
explain
so,
it
like,
better. But
yeah, no one's supposed to know about them. It's like super like secure or whatever, but we know about them. And if there was ever like an issue, like, we have a way to like get their attention without, like, blowing their cover, I guess you could say.
Mhm.
So there's like a whole big like security thing that we do, like, and they're on, and I mean, normally they're just chilling, but
Do you know what?
they do come on, but they're not on every flight. I will say that. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but I said that.
Do you know what famous case made that a thing? Like, made U.S. Marshals a thing on planes? Like, the D.B. Cooper case. I bet she knows about it.
No, I
No,
actually
the
don't.
D.B. Cooper case? It's like way back in the 80s, this guy. So we got on this plane under this alias, D.B. Cooper, right? And they get up to mid-flight. It's up in the northwest, like Oregon area. And they're mid-flight, whatever, going normal. And he calls a flight attendant over. And he gives her a note. It's like, oh, and she takes it up. She reads it. And on the note, it's like, he has bombs on the plane. And he pretty much asked for a ransom. But long story short, they landed at the local airport, took back off, right? He got his ransom money, took back off. The flight attendant, crew, and everybody got off at the airport, just him and the pilots. They were heading towards, I believe, Vegas or Reno. And the pilot said the emergency hatch from the back door opened, like where the stairs are. And this is like a big old jet. Like, this isn't like and he jumped. He asked for a parachute and money at the airport, got the money and parachute and jumped. It's the only like unsolved hijacking in U.S. flight history.
oh, so he got away.
Yeah. No, well, the thing is, nobody's ever found him. They have found money like from the jump, like along the river and stuff. Nobody's ever found him. And you got to look it up. There's people obsessed like that live for this.
Yeah, that's
I was
wild.
gonna say, I'm gonna look this up. I never heard of that.
DB Cooper. Yeah.
Yeah. Now Tori has kind of a conversation started with some of her flight attendant friends.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, hey, did you know about that?
That's super interesting. So that's not like a movie or anything. This is like a real event.
this is documented. Like, they send in people to investigate it. The FBI investigated it.
Wow.
They closed the case not too long ago because they couldn't figure it out, and they figured the guy'd be dead by now who did it. So like, there's no use.
How much did he get?
That was a good movie.
Great movie.
I don't remember. He literally brought it to life. I don't remember how much money he got or asked for, but I know it was equivalent to like today's money for like around $1 million. I can't remember what the number was back then, but I think it was around $1 million today's money.
Well, speaking, that's super cool.
Yeah.
But I did want to bring up, back in like I want to say like 60s, it was like very popular for like females to become flight attendants. And I feel like nowadays it's kind of not necessarily like, you don't hear about it every day. And so what made you want to, I mean, obviously, was it like a movie that you've seen back then, or like what made you want to be a flight attendant? I know you said you just always wanted to be, but was there any like kind of spur of the moment kind of thing?
Honestly, kind of just not really. Like I said, my mentor, who's somebody like I still like from, like I said, from middle school, but we are still in contact, which is crazy. But she just really inspired me with like all her like crazy stories. And I just thought like how who can say, like, I was in Florida earlier today and now I'm back in Jersey. Like,
That's so
some people
Yeah.
drive cars to work, but like I took a flight to Florida and then I just came back here. Like, I just think the thrill of it and like kind of the unknown and unexpected and where it can take me type thing. And I'm young, I'm single, I don't have a family, I don't have, well, like, you know, my family, but I'm not married, I don't have kids. So there's nothing holding me to one spot right now. So I figured now is the perfect time to do
Oh
this.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Tori, how many flights a day do you normally do?
So normally it's just two. Out of my airport, I'm based in Newark, in New Jersey, Newark
I've been there.
International Airport. But basically we do like somewhere and back. But sometimes if we have a layover, it could be a 2-day, 3-day. There's sometimes 4-day ones. You could do up to 3 flights in one day, and that is completely exhausting. I
Oh, I bet.
hate that, but it's a lot. Yeah, like one day I saw over 600 people
Oh my
in like one
goodness.
day.
That's insane.
Interacted with over 600 people.
So is there like a night shift in a way, a night and a day shift in terms of flights, or is it kind of like, oh, you go there and you come back and it's whenever we get back? Or do you have like a preference?
This
or
might be
anything?
a little hard to explain, but basically like there's reserves and there's line holders. And so reserves are the people who are on call. They're always like ready to go type, I guess you could say. And then there's line holders and they know their month schedule. They know where they're going, when they're going, who they're going with. And then the reserves, they're just on call. They have X amount of days of the month they're on call. It could be AM shift, it could be PM. So mine are usually 2 a.m. to 2 p.m. I'll be on call. So they can call me at any point between 2 a.m. and 2 p.m. 1:59 on the dot. They could say, hey, you're going to Tampa today and back. Or, hey, you're going to Cancun and you're going to stay in Cancun and then you're going to work this flight, and that flight tomorrow, and then you'll be back. And so I kind of like the reserve life because
Yeah, that's
you
so
never
cool.
know.
Yeah.
But when you get that 3 a.m. call, you're like, oh, I hate
Yeah.
like woken up mid sleep, like, hey, you're going to Orlando today. I'm like, okay, great, thanks. Like, do I have time to go back to sleep?
Do you get on any international flights, or is it just pretty much with the 50 states?
So JetBlue, we do a lot of domestic, but we go to London and we go to the islands. So I've done like Cancun, St. Martin, like those types of places. We do Jamaica. And then we actually just announced yesterday that we're going to start flying to Paris in summer
Oh
of
shoot.
2023. So we're starting to like open up like the European side of things, but
It's
it's
cool.
going to take a little while. But yeah, so we do a lot of the islands and then London, and we are just opening up Paris next year.
Man, like do you have I have like you get told where you're going, right? Do you ever have like the opportunity to be like, hey, Tori, you're working today, like you either get this flight that's going here or you get this flight that's going here? No, it's always just assigned.
Nope. It's like, hey, is this Tori? Yeah. Okay, you're going here at this time. And it's either you go or you don't go. And they have like a point system. So like if you miss a call, like I missed a call 2 weeks ago now, my phone randomly turned off one night and I missed the call. So I was a no call, no show. And so you get like points. And then if you get X amount of points, that's when you're kind of like, okay, like you're fired.
Man,
That's
rigorous,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, very rigorous.
that's like cutthroat. Really cutthroat.
Yeah, but you don't get a choice. Line holders, they kind of get a choice because we like put in for our schedule every month and then we get a month's worth of schedule. So they can kind of say like, oh, there's a like Las Vegas layover. I want that. So we like bid for that. You could bid for that. And whether you'll get it or not, it depends on scheduling. But the line holders have more power and they have more seniority. I'm still like very new. So I'm still a baby yet.
Yeah, how long have you been doing this now?
6 months, almost 7 months now.
Okay,
Yeah,
not too
that's
bad.
yeah. I mean,
So
6 months. How many like days of the month do you say you work? How many like days off, I guess?
we have 12 days off as a reserve.
Oh, okay.
But
A
like
month.
line holders can meet all of their hours because we're guaranteed 75 hours. Because like I won't work 75 hours as a reserve, but I'm on call, but I don't get paid for those hours. Just $75 guaranteed a month, and then if I go over that, they'll obviously pay me that. But like line holders can make their 75 hours in 3 layovers, like with all the trips that they do. Huh. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I didn't know all this went into this.
Yeah, there's so much I'm learning here.
Yeah.
There's also a big thing that a lot of people don't know that I love to share for anybody who travels. We do not get paid while you board, and we do not get paid while you deplane. We get paid once the doors close, and then when they open, our pay stops.
Huh. Those are 2 worst parts.
Yeah. and the most stressful parts, they are so stressful, and I'm like, why am I not getting paid for this? And like, if you've ever been on a flight and you're like, why are the flight attendants so mean? Like when you're boarding, they're not getting paid. They're not getting paid. So they're probably just like, I'm not getting paid for this.
So sit down and shut up.
Get in your seat. And when
exactly.
the doors close.
Like, what seat are you in? Let's go. Like, get these doors closed.
And put on your seatbelt whenever the seatbelt sign is above your head.
Yeah. I'm going to have such a high respect for the flight attendants on whoever my first flight is. I'll be like, look, I know a colleague of yours, and I have the utmost respect for you. You trained hard for that position.
I know a colleague of yours.
We're basically there, though, for everyone's safety. Like, that's really our main purpose. Yeah, we serve drinks. Yeah, we serve snacks. But, our main purpose is your safety, because you would not know what to do if a plane was crashing. Or you would not know what to do if there was, a fire, technically, because it's a plane. So that's what we're there for. We're there for your safety.
I know what I'd do. If either of those things, I'd pray. I'm like, yo.
No, I'm gonna try to make a makeshift parachute, jump out of that thing, and be like, "Oh, I'll hit water sometime. I can swim." Just hope for the best.
Some Looney Tunes stuff.
Hey, I
always say that about the parachutes. I'm like, why do we not have parachutes?
I heard this, and you don't have to comment on this because I don't know how it would affect your job if you don't want to.
Okay.
But I heard this conspiracy theory where whenever you're on a plane and they tell you to lean forward and tuck your head, if the plane's going down, or is that not true?
Yeah. So we have it's called brace position. We have a certain one in our seats because our seatbelts are different. Our seatbelts go over our this way, not just around our waist, you're the passengers. But there is a brace position, and it's supposed to help with the impact if it was to crash.
See, that's what I heard.
But I know the conspiracy you're thinking about. It's supposedly it's worse for them, and it could be a lawsuit. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, yeah. So I heard that the conspiracy theory is whenever they tell you to get in this position, that whenever on the impact, it's supposed to snap your neck. Yeah. And so whenever on impact, you're dead and you're not living with life altering injuries and could sue the plane company. That's just a conspiracy theory. I was curious about it. You don't necessarily have to comment on it if you don't, some insider trading information. But
I don't know if that would really snap your neck. I hope I never find out.
Yeah, no. I
hope I never find out either.
Me neither. But I heard that. I just heard that
That's
story.
A pretty grim conspiracy theory, though.
It's supposed to save the airlines. Is what I've been,
So they don't get sued.
Yeah, so they don't get sued because if you're walking around with, no legs, you're probably going to sue the airline.
Well, I don't think you're walking around with no legs.
Well, that was terrible. We're gonna have to edit
that one's going. We're riding with that one. But no, I think it's pretty cool the lifestyle that you live, Tori. I would think it's how many towns do you say you go to a year? How many different cities?
I've only been doing it for 6 months.
Well, yeah, 6 months. Sorry.
Every month. So it's with the reserve life. You never know. Last month, I just did a trip to Orlando and back. And that was all I worked the whole month. And then another month I had, Tampa, 2 Tampa layovers, an Orlando layover. I went to Richmond, Virginia. I went to all these places. Yes. So it really just depends.
So when you had these layovers and time off in between flights, what are you doing? Like, are you just hanging out in the hotel? You using some meal vouchers? You hit a casino? Like,
I would first, my question, what's a meal voucher? No, we don't get those, sadly, but we do
Really?
get per diem.
oh, okay, well,
Yeah,
there you go. Per diem. That'll. I mean,
But it's like $3. It's not great. Sorry, JetBlue.
wait, you get $3
but,
for per diem? It's like
$3 an hour. Three. One,
Oh, an
two.
hour.
Okay.
I thought you were saying like
Yeah.
$3 a day, and I said, well, "What are you gonna
No,
buy
oh
with
my
$3?"
gosh, I would cry. You're getting a pack of gum, if that. No,
Yeah,
but,
not in an airport.
no, definitely not. So I had a couple of Tampa layovers, which is kind of like everyone's like, oh, you're going back home, but I loved it because I was able to see family or friends, and I went down to like the river walk and kind of went out, got a couple of drinks and whatnot. I had a Boston layover not too long ago, but I got there so late and I was just so tired that I didn't want to go out, and it was so cold. I had a Santo Domingo in DR layover, but we got there at 2 a.m.
That's cool.
And so
it'd be
was
popping over there at 2 a.m.
I was scared to go out of the hotel too, but like, I don't know, some layovers are quick. They're kind of like considered short stay. So it's just the amount of hours for you to technically rest, like legally. And then there's other ones, like I know next month we have a lot of like Vegas layovers that are 24 hours, Nashville that are 24 hours, LA that's 24 hours. So fingers crossed I get one of those and I can go explore, but it just depends, I guess, on how long you're there.
You say explore, don't you? You have a YouTube page, right? That you vlog.
I literally was about to say the same thing.
You have, right?
I do. I'm not very consistent on it, but I do.
Oh yeah, well.
Yeah, that was one thing, because I think Tori and I have followed each other off and on on Instagram since high school or whatever, and so I saw that she was a flight attendant. I was like, this would be great to have her on. But I always saw things that you were posting on YouTube like since we were like 14, 15 years old.
Oh, it's been that long?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I started, I think, when I was 13, 14.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
like she's been
now,
like working
so
on it for a while.
10 years.
How many subscribers?
Yeah, I did like 600 something. Nothing crazy.
But,
I did a lot of videos on.
Sorry, no, you're fine. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say I did like a couple videos on my jaw surgery because I got jaw surgery back in 2019. So I kind of used that as an outlet because when I was about to get the surgery, I was like Googling like videos or stuff like that, just people talking about their experience. So I did a lot of that. And then I was hoping to do vlogs of like flight attendant stuff, but I haven't really gone anywhere or anywhere exciting. So once I get those exciting trips, I definitely want to start filming again.
Well, you got to think also, like, you're from Florida and everything, so you don't think too much of Tampa. But I mean, I'm sure that would be a big niche. Like, I would definitely look, like, if it popped up on my TikTok or YouTube or whatever about like different places around the world with flight attendant, I feel like that'd be super cool.
I have a problem here with her answer. She said, I've been nowhere exciting. I was in Boston. I was in Santo Domingo.
I was in Tampa.
Those
we're
were
from
exciting
here,
places. Those are very exciting places.
I know. I think I downplay it because I know there's better trips out there. I'm just not getting them yet. But I'm also new again. Seniority is everything in this industry. Absolutely everything. So the people who have more seniority, they get the better trips. They get those Vegas like layovers. They get, all the fun stuff. So honestly, I just had to put my time in and just take those crappy little to Tampa and back or to Orlando and back. Like yesterday, I went to Tampa and back. Today, I went to Orlando and back. Tomorrow, I'm going to West Palm Beach and back. Like those are kind of like the crappier trips. And so I just got to put that time in to get those nice little layovers.
So if we ever want to, how close is Newark to New York City? Isn't it like 3 hours?
Maybe like an hour and 30-ish.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, I was about to say, so if we ever go to the Big Apple, you can fly into Newark, because I flew in there before. We might even have Tori as a flight attendant.
You've been to Newark?
Yeah, I've been several times. My uncle used to live like 30 minutes outside of the New York City.
Really?
Yeah, very, very busy airport.
I hate that airport.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the best. But.
I had no idea that. I thought he lived out in Texas this whole time.
Well, so he lived in New Jersey there for a time, and then he moved out to Fort Worth like I think a year ago. But anyways,
I think that would be my first flight. Somewhere
out Texas,
probably
out west.
Austin, Dallas.
That would be cool.
I think it's a short enough flight where I won't get, sketched out by it, but it's a good enough experience where, I flew,
I feel like I have to take you. Like I have to. I'll give you my buddy pass. I have to.
So no, we've talked
have
about
to
a couple scary experiences. For instance, the guy hijacking the plane. My anxiety with landing. What are some of the scary experiences that you've seen as a flight attendant? Like, have you seen any medical issues that have actually occurred, or bad turbulence? Like, tell us about it.
Yeah. My first flight, actually, I had a medical. It wasn't anything too crazy, thank goodness, but it was an elderly guy, and he cut his arm trying to put the suitcase up, and he just would not stop bleeding. Absolutely would not stop. And so it was so cool, but it was the right word to describe, but my training kicked in like that. My training was just training mode. And so I did all the procedures and everything. That was a little scary though, because I was like, oh my gosh, if we can't get him to stop, what's gonna happen?
Mm-hmm.
But everything was fine with that. Turbulence, yes. Turbulence really bad. I've had one where we've been here and then just
free fall.
You get that feeling in your stomach.
And you kind of jump up. Yeah, and at the time, one of my coworkers was in that the cabin giving somebody a drink, and the drink actually went up and spilled on the person. It flew out of the cup and kind of spilled on the person because it was one of those woo, and then we kind of drifted. Today there was a lot of bad wind coming into Newark, and so it was a pretty scary landing. We were just a lot of it almost felt like he didn't have control of the back of the plane, and I was in the back. You always feel everything worse in the back. So if you are super sick easily or anything, I'd say try to sit in the front, because the back you feel it more. But today was pretty bad. And then yesterday we did all of our safety demo. We're taxiing out. We're about to take off. We get a call from the captain. We're going back to the gate. We're having a hydraulic leak. And so the hydraulic fluid was leaking. And thank God they caught it before we got in the air, because that would have been a really big issue, because that helps us stop and that helps him steer and stuff like that. But I'd just say really bad turbulence to where I've had the captain say crew members, take your seat, because even us with our training, it's too bad for us to be standing.
Have you been through any thunderstorms or any? You fly above them, right? Or that's what I've heard.
You normally fly above them, but getting through them, sometimes you go through them too.
Is that scary?
And that's it's pretty scary, especially when you can see the lightning through the window, and if it's dark and nighttime.
Oh man,
yeah.
Shit in a break.
That's wild.
Yeah, not the best. But then it's cool, because then you get above the clouds sometimes, and you see the sun, and the other day it was such a stormy day everywhere, and then you get above and you're seeing the sun. It's crazy to think if you just get right above the clouds, everyone on earth on the ground sees storm, but I'm seeing a beautiful sun.
That's
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to start this vlog on the
Start
YouTube
taking
page.
some cool videos or
that'd be
something.
sick.
Yeah.
I do.
Just do it.
I have to.
You got to post them up. You got to flick them up.
Just do it.
Just do it.
You got me there. You got me there.
So, we've talked about some, scary experiences. What about, I know obviously there's, private jets and things like that. Have you seen any famous people on a flight that you've recognized?
I have, but I didn't recognize them. So fun story, Lawrence Taylor was on one of my flights from Fort Lauderdale to Newark, and I didn't know who he was, and I was in the aisle pushing the cart, and he's so big, he's just such a tall buff guy. His leg was in the aisle, and I hit him with the cart, and I was and I was on my third leg of the day, my third flight. So I was exhausted, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, sir. And then he wanted to buy something, because we do purchase items first. And we make an announcement, credit card only, whatever. He buys something. He's like, do you guys take cash? I gave him so much attitude. I was like, no, we only accept card. And so he's flipping through his wallet. There's like so much cash in his wallet. And I'm like, okay, this guy like thinks he's someone or he is someone. And I didn't know who he was. And then he like gives me like a hard card, like one of those metal cards. I don't even look at the name. I just swipe it. I'm like, here you go, sir. Like, I was so rude to him. I hit him with my cart maybe 3 more times, like throughout the flight. And then I had an older guy come up to me, like in the gap, like in our little area. And he goes, do you know who's sitting in my row? And he's like freaking out. I'm like, are you okay? I'm like, no, like who is it? He's like, Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor's on this flight. Like, oh my God. Like, he's freaking out. And I'm like, who's Lawrence Taylor? And my dad would kill me. Like, my dad he loves Lawrence Taylor. That's the reason why my dad played football. But anyways, I was like, I'm Googling Lawrence Taylor. And I'm like, this guy's like a Hall of Famer. I'm like,
Yeah.
So then I go back up to him and I go, sir, I'm so sorry. Like, if you need anything, just let me know. It's a pleasure to have you on board today. I was like, if this guy's bothering you too much, just let me know. Just press the call button. We'll take care of it. Like, what? And I'm like all nice to him now because I'm like, oh my God, like there's somebody famous like on the flight. Like, I need to be nice.
Yeah, that's crazy. For those of y'all who don't know who Lawrence Taylor is, the movie The Blind Side was actually about him. Correct?
Wait.
Yeah, that's Lawrence Taylor. And so
wait, no, it's not.
Okay.
Lawrence Taylor's a
Google
Tampa
it?
Bay Buccaneer.
no,
Famous
no,
Tampa
no.
Bay
Taylor's
Buccaneer.
a New York Giant.
Excuse me. Lawrence Taylor was at the very beginning of The Blind Side whenever it was talking about left tackles. My fault.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That was my fault.
Don't scare me.
Yeah,
That's
you're
one of-
right.
that's
You're right.
like-
You're
that's
right.
like in
You're
my
right. At the
top
beginning of the
10
movie.
movies.
Yeah, at the beginning of the movie. You're right. You're right.
Sorry, completely my fault. That wasn't true.
You threw me off. I thought he played for the Bucks. No.
Yeah, but they did talk about Lawrence Taylor in that movie about left tackles because Lawrence Taylor was always rushing the left side.
You're right.
So-
You're right. At the clip at the beginning of with the Redskins. Yep. That was him.
because they said quarterbacks are the most paid players on the field, but what
Second
people
most was the left tackle, right?
don't, was the left tackle because of Lawrence Taylor rushing the left side.
Man, that's pretty cool. Any so do y'all still have like the first class and the middle class? Like, no, it's all just one.
So JetBlue, we have like, it depends on what aircraft we have. I don't know how many aircrafts. I should know, but I don't. But we have X amount of different aircrafts. And our normal one is just like, they call it even more space seats. And it just has more space, like more leg room. And there's like a couple rows of that. And then on our like longer flights, so our Boston to London or our Boston to like LA or, you know, New York to LA, that area, like out west, we kind of have like a semi first class. They're called Mint, MINT with JetBlue. And they kind of like have the little recline and like the little pods, but it's nothing fancy like Delta or any of those fancy companies.
I've always wanted to ride in like first class. I feel like that would be so
First class.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
That's cool. I didn't know.
But it was cool because like,
go ahead.
sorry, I was gonna say one of my coworkers and I, we planned to fly to LA. Like last month, we were planning to fly to LA, and we were gonna fly in our what we consider our first class, and we were gonna literally fly to LA and then take the next flight back to New Jersey because we both worked the next day, or we were on call the next day. We had one day off, so we were gonna fly there and then fly straight back just to kind of experience like what our first class is like. But unfortunately, I got a call the night we were supposed to leave that night, and I got a call that morning, so I had to work, but he still went without me, which I hate. But we were supposed to go to like LA just to kind of experience like our first class.
Man,
So we were gonna fly there,
cool.
fly right back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Because you remember, like back in the '80s and '90s, it was always first class. Like it was really cool. Really, it was separated. I'm pretty sure from the rest of the plane.
Yeah, I've been on it is on I think it was Delta. Delta is a pretty big deal, right? With their first class. I've been on the Delta.
Yeah, they have
flight.
like curtains.
Oh,
they
yeah.
board separate.
Really?
Oh yeah,
they're
you're like
Emirates.
shunned.
Huh?
Yeah.
Emirates is a big one where like you board in a whole different area. I know one Emirates plane has like a bar in their first class, like a walk-up bar, and you can like get a drink and stuff like that. Like it's crazy. In our first class, and or what we consider first class, they use like glass instead of plastic. Like we use plastic, just like cups and paper cups, and the cabin. But in our like mint area, they use actual glass, actual silverware.
That's pretty cool.
So that's kind of considered ours first class.
I definitely want to take a first class ride somewhere.
I just want to get on one, man. Even if it's to fly from, the Polk County Airport here to like Miami and back on a bush plane or something. I don't know.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool.
We got to get you on a plane.
100%. One of my actual dreams is to ride in one of the small bush planes and go out to Alaska and ride in some of those. I've done it before, but I want to do it again and get in one of those like 4-seater planes and go over all the glaciers and everything. Super cool experience.
Does JetBlue offer any flights out there to Alaska?
I don't think so.
I would encourage you, if you get a chance to go, I would definitely go if they do.
I do, or I want to take a cruise out of Alaska. And we get discounts on like cruises, hotels, and stuff like that. So once I get a nice little chunk of time off, I definitely want to do a cruise out of Alaska.
That'd be very cool. So do y'all have like flight miles or whatever? I know some credit cards and things like that, you have like flight miles or whatever, and you can redeem them for a certain amount of things.
I don't think they get
so we
them.
have.
Do y'all?
We have no, but we do have a JetBlue card, and like we actually, if we try to sell them on the planes or like get people to like sign up for it, we get an incentive if they get approved. So like that's why too, like we kind of push it so much because like we get money.
Right.
But we could get the card. I haven't gotten it yet because I've just been lazy, but I can get it, and then with JetBlue we can like share the points between like my mom and my dad, and then that can get them flights too. So
that's cool. I think
we can also do it.
I think like certain credit card companies do that too, like MasterCard and Visa and stuff like that.
Well, I think now it's a perfect time to kind of get into that
snap questions. I love it. It's always good for the snap questions. We get to see the true, the other side of Tori, the one that's not on a plane.
Yeah. So I mean,
not
obviously,
the flight attendant
we explain this just about every episode. But if you're a new listener, snap questions are basically we're trying to get to know the real Tori. We've talked about her being a flight attendant for the first 40 minutes, and we want to know more about her, more as about a person than necessarily who she is outside of being on a plane. So without further ado, we ask this question every week. If you could take 3 people to dinner, dead or alive, who would you bring and why would you bring them?
Okay. I would first bring my godmother. She is no longer here, and that's why I would bring her so I can sit down, update her on my life, and just catch up with her. She always inspired me. The next person I would bring, you guys kind of got me. I think it would be my mentor. Again, I'm like so into like those deep conversations, and like people, like I get inspired so easily. So like somebody could tell me something and I like run with it, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like this could be something like big. And so I think my mentor would be another one. Just for the same reason. I know I could have those deep conversations with her and just kind of figure out where I'm going to go in life next. And then my last one would probably be Mac Miller. I don't
Yes.
I
love that.
He's just like, I just would love to like sit down and have a conversation with him and just like get to know him and know like more about his music. And I feel like his music is just such like a vibe, and so I feel like he'd be really cool to just.
It was like Post Malone before Post Malone came out.
I think that's our second.
Yes.
She's only our second guest who's said a music star.
Yeah, no, I love that answer. I love the Mac Miller answer.
That's pretty cool. I think you'd have a cool conversation.
Yeah.
All right, our next snap question for you, Tori. You fly a lot, you travel a lot, and you've probably seen a lot more than me and some others have here. Where would you go live if you could go live any place in the world?
Okay. I think I would live in somewhere like Hilton Head, like a small little
yeah, that's cool.
South Carolina, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like a little somewhere like that. Or I've done a little bit of research on, I think it's Asherville.
I'm not.
It's like in one of the Carolinas.
Maybe.
I don't know. It looks pretty,
Asheville.
whatever.
Asheville.
Asheville.
Yeah, that's North Carolina.
We
Okay, yeah. Like
we
that
actually went to
kind of vibe.
Buford and Hilton Head.
Oh, okay.
Buford was up there. That's a beautiful area, by the way.
I've never been.
It's really pretty.
Based off of pictures and like what I've heard about like stories up there, I'm like, I feel like it'd be really like a cute little town.
It is. It's like very like traditional, old looking. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, question 3. Got to look at my sheet. Oh, I came up with this. So if you could have, you having the whole. Sorry, I this idea. Brian's laughing at me. This idea for this question popped into my head. I was like, this is a great question. But you having your YouTube channel and everything, if you could get sponsored by one brand, who would your brand be? You have athletes that do like Jordan brand, and like there's people that do Red Bull. Like what's your brand?
Starbucks. No hesitation. Absolutely no hesitation.
Get you through those early morning flights.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I gotta wake up at 3 a.m. tomorrow. I would love me some like Starbucks sponsorship.
What's your go-to drink at Starbucks?
Ooh, okay. My go-to is a double shot of espresso on ice with vanilla sweet cream cold foam on top.
Thanks, she nailed that like split hog, partner.
Yes,
that was quick. She said that a lot of times.
Starbucks, where are you at?
Please. I don't know. I feel like if we get sponsored by Red Bull, that would be sick. I feel like a Red Bull sponsorship would be so cool.
I want a road
I drink
sponsorship.
so much Red Bull in training.
Yeah.
They make a nice soundboard here.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Road, Anchor. Anybody?
Anchor, yeah, helps us put on this podcast.
Those are Road does all the sound equipment. And then Anchor's the what we upload.
Broadcasting, yeah. They make it possible.
Yeah.
For normal people like us to podcast.
Yeah, to be able to get after it.
And meet people like Tori.
Yeah.
I love it. Our next question for you, Tori, is, you travel a lot. I'm sure when you get tired after flying all over the place, you sit down in your hotel. What is your favorite kind of movie you're going to flick on? Like, what are you going to watch?
This sounds so bad, but can I look at my phone real quick? Because I think I wrote down my favorite movie.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Like, when somebody asks you, like, oh, what's your favorite, like, this, you, like, blank.
Oh,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
Has that ever happened?
I definitely have a list of like my favorite things all in my notes. Like I'll have just like certain things where it's like, yeah, these are my top 5 because I'll forget them. Like if like I want to watch a movie, what are some like my favorite movies? I'll have like lists of certain things or like songs for TikToks and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I'm a big.
Can I give you guys 3?
Yes, that's fair. That's fair.
3?
That's fair.
Okay. Luca, it's on Disney Plus.
It's a newer one. It's a newer one.
Yeah, I was about to say I haven't seen that one.
It's so good. I watched it with my nephew, like, whenever he was first born, like, every day. It's, like, an Italian movie. Super cute. Aladdin.
Yeah, classic.
Hands down Aladdin.
Classic.
And probably Remember the Titans.
Ooh, that's a good one. That is a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like Remember the Titans.
Yeah, those are my 3.
Big Disney fan.
Jasmine's a babe.
Yeah.
Jasmine's good. Like if I had to pick one Disney princess, it's 100% Jasmine.
Oh man, you're a nut. You're a nut.
What's your top 3, Brian? Movies.
Oh, movies. You put me on the spot. I love to laugh. I really do.
Live, Laugh, Love.
I think me and my dad watch the Hangover series all the time, and I think that's. I watched the first one. I love the first Hangover movie. I think it's one of my favorite ones.
So.
If I'm going to go on a more serious note, The Wolf of Wall Street, man. It's inspiring.
That's a serious note?
Like, yeah. Like that movie makes me want to go get that bag. Like, makes me want to chase that money.
I wouldn't say that as a serious note.
No, it's inspiring.
I mean, yeah, I could see the inspiration.
Yeah, like let's do it. Let's go get that bag. Like he did, just do it.
Yeah, and then got arrested and had all.
Well, I wouldn't obviously do all the inside trading and stuff like that. It's illegal.
You got a number 3?
I don't know. Yes, I do. I'm a huge fan of, like the superhero realm.
Marvel.
I love, I love Marvel. I like DC. I don't love DC. I like DC. I love Marvel. But where DC's got me beat here, or they got me beat here, my favorite movie would probably that third would be the Batman series with Christian Bale, The Dark Knight Rises, and all that. The Heath Ledger Joker. That's my third. Yeah. That's
I've
my
never
top
seen
3.
those movies.
Oh,
What? No,
you gotta
it's
watch
okay.
it. It's
I know.
so good. So good.
So,
What about you?
do y'all?
I'll watch it on my next.
Mine probably would be I Love the Patriot with Mel Gibson. I don't know if y'all have seen that one. Fantastic movie. It's about the Revolutionary War.
I've seen it. It's good.
Fantastic movie. It's like 3.5 hours, so you kind of got to sit down and prepare for it.
Oh my goodness.
And then I like The Gladiator. I'm big.
Are you a big Mel
action.
Gibson guy?
That's Gladiator.
Not, that's Russell. No.
Gladiator's a good one.
Russell Brand? No, Crowe. No, I don't know. We're
What's-
going to fact check all
What's
this.
the actor in Gladiator?
Gladiator.
It's Russell Crowe, right?
I
It is
believe.
Russell Crowe.
I believe so.
I don't know. That's my dad's favorite movie. He can quote the whole movie. Let me look.
She's doing our
I
research
can
for us. I love it. Oh, we're waiting for it. Waiting for it.
Russell Crowe.
Nice,
Okay,
nice.
And then my number 3, it's got to be Shrek, bro. Number 1.
Shrek?
I love Shrek. I can quote the whole movie. Shrek is fantastic.
Fiona,
Lord Farquaad.
get out of my swamp. Oh, man, we like to have too much fun.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
We got to get back on track.
Yeah, we do.
gotta get back on
We
track.
do. I think it's okay to have fun, though, every now and then.
Yeah.
Especially on here.
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%. Well, do you have anything else for Tori?
I don't. I think you've opened up my eyes to, the rigorous path to become a flight attendant. I think it's a freaking cool job. Like,
Oh, yeah.
if you want to go travel, you're young, you don't have your roots tied down to you, go do it. Like 100%. If you think you're cut for the cloth to go do that job, go do it. Have fun, travel, see the world. And I thank you for, explaining this to us and letting all of our, viewers and audience know, like, it's obtainable to get this kind of job and live that kind of life if you want to.
Yeah. Like, you don't have to go to school prior to doing it or anything like that. And, like, it is not for everyone. I will say that. We had a lot of people who finished training and then started doing flights, and they're like, whoa, this isn't for me. But if you're young, if you ever thought of doing it, I tell everyone, apply. Just do it. Just try. See what happens.
Just do it.
Yeah, just do it.
That might have to be the name of the episode.
Just do it.
Tori Hughes, flight attendant. Just do it.
Just
I like
do
it. I like it. It's been a good one, partner.
I like it.
Yeah. Tori, we've had a blast. Thank you so much for coming on. I personally
Thank
have
you,
learned
guys.
so much through all of this.
Yeah,
so,
100%. Like, I can't wait to get on my first flight and thank my first flight attendant.
yeah.
They're gonna be like, what? Like,
And another thing, this is why we do the
Yes,
podcast.
absolutely.
Obviously, Brian and I love it, but the whole point is for us to be able to, 1, educate people, and 2, get a nice laugh in. And so if I can learn something about being a flight attendant, it may not necessarily apply to me at all, but you
can
learn
inspire
something new
one of
every
you
week.
out there.
Yeah. And so,
Exactly.
Tori, if whenever we follow everybody back on Instagram, and so we'll be following you on Instagram. So if anybody wants to get in touch with Tori or check out her social media, we'll be
Yes.
following her on Instagram.
And that is
Rule the number 1 podcast. We are on Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, just about everything you can think of.
Yeah.
Rule number 1 podcast. It's also in the description box.
Yep.
Correct?
right below.
Yep, link down below.
Link down below.
Thumbs up, like this video.
Yeah, exactly.
Subscribe.
Do you want to shout out your YouTube page,
Yeah.
Tori?
It's just Tori Evelyn, but hopefully I'll start filming more so they'll have something to watch. But yeah, Tori Evelyn on YouTube.
You shout out your
If
socials.
you want to subscribe.
Yeah.
Social is still Tori Evelyn with 2 N's.
Nice.
So TOR. I'm not gonna say it, but yeah,
Nice.
Awesome.
they'll find me.
We'll definitely have to tag you in a post, and so y'all can check her out if you need to.
Absolutely.
Yes, and if anybody has any questions about flight attendant too, I love talking about it. So I will talk about it.
Awesome.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Tori.
All right.
Thank
Another.
you guys.
Yeah, no problem. Another solid episode in the book, partner.
Yeah, man. We look forward to next week. We got a couple new big plans.
Yeah, we do. We can't wait, man.
We'll see y'all next week.
See you, bud.
Boom.